Hey there, guys. All right, today we are back with some more history matters, and this time we are asking the question, why does Moldova exist? A short animated documentary. Before we dive in, let's go ahead and let's go ahead. Before we dive in, please do go check out the links in the description box below. I'd love to join the Discord and follow me over at Twitch. And also do go check out the gaming channel here on YouTube. I upload the old streams and some dumb, stupid clips of me embarrassing myself. Now, why does Moldova exist? I'm going to guess the Russians play a big part of why it exists. That's essentially the extent of my guess. I think we've have we talked about Moldova in geography now? I think that was one of the countries we've gone through because we are past M. Anyways, I can't remember. Let's dive in.
It's not often that the land sandwiched between great empires can survive centuries of warfare and still come out independent, especially one whose people speaks the same language as its larger neighbour. And yet Moldova is one of those lands, and here it is today, a sovereign nation. But why? Why does Moldova exist? So, to begin, Moldova, or Moldavia as it's been known through most of its history, is an old Romanian-speaking nation whose origins are in the 14th century after it told the Hungarians that it wasn't interested in being their vassal anymore. It spent the next century fighting off the Kingdom of Hungary, Wallachia and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth with varying levels of success before the Ottomans turned up and made it into a vassal in the early 16th century. Now, given Moldova's position on the borders
Where everyone else failed, the Ottomans succeeded.
of the Ottoman Empire, it should be no surprise that it was a place which saw war fairly often, and much of that war was with the recently expanded Russian Empire. And these two went to war a lot. And in 1812, half of Moldavia, lands collectively known as Bessarabia, were annexed into the Russian Empire. In 1859, as a result of losing the Crimean War, the Russians handed over this territory to what was left of Moldavia, which promptly formed the United Provinces with Wallachia, which would soon afterwards take the name Romania. Due to some conflicts over access to the Danube, Russia ended up getting these lands back a mere 20 years later. Time marched on, and World War I. As you'll know, Romania joined the Entente, got squashed, and then rejoined when the Central Powers were on the back foot. When the war was over and the Russian Empire had collapsed because Lenin, Romania jumped on the opportunity and, with the support of Bessarabia's politicians, annexed the region before it expanded to this after the Treaty of Trianon. So, into the 20th century, Moldova was a part of Romania, and the people who lived there were perfectly happy with this arrangement. Someone who wasn't happy with the arrangement was Joseph Stalin.
I don't think he was very happy about anything. I think he was always angry.
Who wanted Bessarabia back under the control of Moscow. In 1939, the USSR and Germany signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, which secretly divided Eastern Europe up between them and acknowledged Soviet ownership of Bessarabia. The next year, Stalin gave Romania an ultimatum: give us Bessarabia,
Give it or we take it. Yeah.
or we'll just take it anyway. Romania acquiesced and the USSR annexed the region. During the course of World War II, Romania briefly occupied the region again, but that wouldn't last. These lands were transferred with Ukraine, and the rest became the Moldavian Soviet Socialist Republic. Over its lifetime in the USSR, the government was keen to stress that the Moldavian and Romanian peoples were different. It implemented linguistic reforms, which meant that the Moldavian language would use the Cyrillic alphabet, as opposed to the Latin one which Romania had adopted in the previous century. Throughout its time in the USSR, Moldova was a sore spot in relations between Moscow and Bucharest, and Romania's politicians made it clear that they still believed it to be a rightful part of Romania. Like all other things Soviet, the Moldavian SSR began dying in the late 1980s. This was when Gorbachev opened up
December 25th, 1989, Pravda, printed in English, for some reason. Criticize if you want. Change stuff.
The press and allowed the Soviet republics to discuss their futures in the hopes that these new freedoms would maintain the USSR, but fun fact, no.
Nope.
Moldavian independence movement sprang up quickly, and representatives there reversed the adoption of the Cyrillic alphabet, and they soon afterwards declared the Moldavian and Romanian people to be one and the same. You should know, though, that there were many there who wished to remain a part of the USSR, and when independence seemed inevitable, they themselves declared independence. They created the state of Transnistria, which still exists to this day but isn't recognized by many nations. So why didn't Moldavia,
Not for violence,
which soon took the name Moldova, join Romania? Well, part of it was timing. Romania was having its own troubles with anti-communist revolution. When the dust from that was settled, Gorbachev pressured the new president to respect the USSR's borders, which he did. And after that, much of the potential momentum was gone. Because despite the declaration of Moldavian unity with Romania, many people, especially in the south, were Ukrainian or Russian, and for them the idea of joining Romania wasn't so enchanting. And so in the end, they didn't. After which Moldova would remain an independent nation. I hope you enjoyed
Okay, and that was Why Does Moldova Exist? A short animated documentary. This wasn't my favorite. I mean, I think they did their usual really good dive into the surrounding context of the situation. I think they did really good with that. It just, I think, the answer to the question was kind of a bit of a boring one, in my eyes. Nothing too thrilling. Just some people are like, yeah, we want this, and then some other people are like, no, we don't, and then that was that. It was that. Um, so yeah, I don't really have anything to add on here at the end. There really isn't anything to say about this. I mean, I was kind of right. It is the Russians' fault. um, it is thanks to the Russians that Moldova exists, pretty much. So got one right. But with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.